Okay, so why do enema? So here's the thing, when you're cleansing, when you're juicing and you're fasting, whatever you're doing to cleanse your body, you're putting in all this great organic, expensive fruits, vegetables, greens, all this stuff, and you really want to make sure your body is able to absorb all this great nutrients. So one thing that is really helpful is to get the crap out that's in front of all these beautiful nutrients. So, and also just for detox symptoms, whatever, people feel different things. They feel sluggish, they have a headache, whatever your detox symptoms are. Some people, like their skin itches, different kinds of irritability, whatever your detox looks like for you. For me, I just want to decrease the detox symptoms as much as possible and increase the effectiveness and the speed at which my body detoxes, and so that I'm more comfortable during a fast or cleanse or just in life in general. So first I'm just going to show you a little bit of the equipment. I showed you where to get the equipment. Most drugstores don't have this. They have the little squirt bottle Fleet enemas. Don't bother, total waste of time. Most drugstores do have the red rubber heating pad enema thing, but just make sure if you're going to buy that, it's not great, but if you're going to buy it, make sure it does have the enema tip with it, because usually they just sell the hot water bottle and not all the tubing and enema stuff to go with it. But in a pinch, you can go to your local drugstore and get that. There's a couple of reasons I don't like them, and if you think you're going to be doing an enema at all, just go ahead and order something online. It's just a lot cheaper, faster, easier, and will work a lot better. So the red bags, you can't see what's in them, you can't see the level, you can't see where it's going down or up. They're really hard to clean, and they're just really old-fashioned and kind of outdated, and they just don't work great. I don't like the clamp. There's just a lot of stuff. They're not very comfortable. They're not easy to sit or work with or fill or unfill or clean. So I just don't like them. But in a pinch, you can use that. But forget the little bottles. That's not an enema. The red rubber thing, that's okay. But I'll show you what I think everybody really needs in their house. So this is my enema bucket, and I've had it for a couple of years. And I never expected to use it so much or kind of get attached to it almost. But I got the cheapest thing, I didn't know if I was going to use it or not. So this is just a simple little plastic bucket with little handles. There's a tube. When you get it, the tube is not connected. You have to just stick it on. There's a clamp there to start and stop the liquid flow. And then I have added the magical rubber band, which I don't think anybody ever tells you about, but it's really great to have a little rubber band, and I'll tell you why. But anyway, so this is the bucket that I use most of the time. It's very lightweight, easy. However, before I made the big trip to Israel, I thought, oh my goodness, I better just go ahead and go for the gold on the enema equipment in case it's not easy to get there. So I bought the brand new shiny stainless steel enema bucket, which I haven't used yet. And with that came the tubing and the tips, and it's just this great stainless steel enema bucket. Has a little spout here. And before you could use it, of course, you would attach the tubing to the spout like that. So this is the new one. I haven't used it yet. I'm sure it's great. And stainless is nice because obviously you can clean it and sterilize it, if more than one person has to use it for some reason. But my little plastic enema bucket, if you have to sterilize it, you can always use a little bleach or something to sterilize it, but most of the time people just have their own bucket. And so there you go. So anyway, here's the bucket. So now I'll show you a couple of other sort of ways I've set my space up for enemas. And, do your own thing, but I'll just show you how I did my thing. So, over here, this is the shower. And obviously, I think it's good to do an enema in the bathroom. Close is good. So, basically, I like to be comfortable. It's a little hard for me to get up and down off the floor. So, I've just folded this, kind of nice little yoga mat here. So I'm not on the hard floor. So basically, you also want to be able to change the height of the enema bucket. So you can do that a couple of different ways. You can put a string or a little twine or rope or something on it at the right height and hang it on your shower nozzle. You could hang it, that's nice. And then some people use something like to sit the bucket on. So you could get something like a little plastic table or something that's lightweight and easy, something to sit the bucket on, because it's not going to need to be on the floor all the time. You're actually going to need to have it a little bit higher up. So those are a couple of supplies. Also in my little release space, as it were, I use coconut oil. I don't think you should use Vaseline or any petroleum products anywhere on your body, and even on your butthole. Your butthole's worth more than petroleum. So I use coconut oil, but you could use olive oil or any other like really natural oil that you have around. I have it in a special little container that I don't use for anything else. That's mostly psychological, but you know, people who live and eat here are probably glad I just use this just for me. So in my little space, I also just have like a little tissue, seems to be handy. There are a couple of ways to do this, but basically you want to lubricate the tip of the enema tube and or one or the other and your butthole. So you can do that lots of ways, but I just use a clean tissue and dab it in the coconut oil. And then you can lubricate the tip of the tube like this, and or your bum. Most people do both. So anyway, that's like the little lubrication, and then I just kind of fold this and leave it for the side and close this up. Otherwise, I might like spill coconut oil all over me. Not a good thing. So I want to talk a little bit about water enemas, tea and other kinds of things, and coffee. So basically, there's two major things that I see that are really useful with enemas. One is just to get the poop out, just to get just let the shit go, you know? So just the physical stuff that's in your body ready to come out really close. To get that out quicker and more easily and more thoroughly, you can just use body temperature or slightly warmer water. Just a plain water enema, and I recommend everybody start that way anyway. It's just a good place to start. So what you do is you basically make sure the clamp is closed, and you fill the water, fill your bucket up to 3/4 or something, and you open the tube to let the water run out. I'll actually show you that, but with coffee, because it's going to be easier to see. But for now, you know that you can open and close the flow of water through the tube through this little valve. And they look different on different kids. But anyway, so you're going to use a body temperature or a slightly warmer liquid, be that water, chamomile tea, and or just a nice organic coffee, and that's for a whole different reason. So anyway, I start with a warm water enema first, and that way it just evacuates the bowel. Everything that's there, that's ready to come out, just gets out, and that's great. Then part two, and the really sort of a really important part, is the coffee enema. So coffee in the bowel does amazing things. Basically, the very short version, and you can go to Gerson Institute to find out a lot more of the physical details and medical stuff about it, but basically coffee used as an enema allows the liver to to basically eliminate the bile, to excrete bile out, and that's where most of the toxins are in your body, and that goes right into the small intestines. And through the use of an enema, then it just allows all the built up toxins in the body from the liver. The liver detoxes your body, is a major detoxifier. So if you can get the bile and the detox out of the liver, then you're way ahead of the game. Other ways to detox obviously are like dry body brushing, drinking a lot of water, extra fiber, and all that kind of stuff. But if you're doing a water or juice fast, it's really nice just to have a clean slate to start with. So I would say do an enema the day before you start your fast, and one a day for the first couple of days. And if you don't want to do that much, I hear you, but on day 3, the morning of day 3 of the juice cleanse or water fast, the morning on day 3, you want to do an enema. You don't know it, but you want to. Your body wants that. So day 3 of the 7-day cleanse or any other fast is the most important day to do an enema. So if you're going to do a coffee enema, let's see what we're going to do here. Haven't thought it out very well, but mostly I want you to know that you really, really, really want your liquid to be body temperature or a little bit warmer. So that might mean, just run warm water or to warm the coffee on the stove. So because if it's too cold, let me tell you, everything's going to cramp and feel really bad. So don't put cold water up your bum. If it's too warm, then everything relaxes too much and then it just stays in. It's really hard to evacuate and you feel like feverish. So the temperature is really pretty important, and until I got used to it, sometimes I just kept like a couple of cubes of ice and some warm water, like in little places right beside my enema, because I wanted, if the coffee was too hot, I would add an ice cube. But the temperature is really important. So make sure your temperature is good. And so now, with the little valve, I'll show you, you basically want to run the liquid to the end of the tube because you don't want any air in the tube. It won't really work. Plus, you can just like fill your bum with air and then you'll just have to fart a lot and you'll have to take the tube out and it won't be great. So basically, you open it until the water or the coffee comes to the end. So I'm going to then close it off. So then basically you have the tube full. So at that point, now if you're expecting me to take my pants and underwear off, you're going to be like strongly disappointed because I'm not going to do that. But basically, you're going to take this tip of your enema and you want to lay down on your side. So you want to lay down on your side. And then actually my tube is really short because it's like 3 years old. I keep cutting it off. Eventually the ends kind of get loose. So my tube is almost too short now. It should really be longer. Anyway, you've lubricated the tip. You've got the air out. And then, yep, you're going to stick it up your bum right there. And then when it's in, you're basically going to open the tube, open the flow, so the liquid flows into your body. And what will assist that is to raise this up a little bit higher, and I just do it with my hand, or you could sit it on a shelf or a little stool or something, but just raise it up. And then the handy dandy rubber bandy is your friend, because when you're distracted because it's new and you think it's weird and gross and all that stuff, it's kind of hard to know, is it going in? How much did I start with? So the rubber band, just put that at the level of your liquid, and then as it slowly goes down, you can say, okay, yeah, it's going in. So the rubber band, you can watch the liquid go down. So then when it goes all the way down, the tube almost empties, and then you have a choice to make. Very important choice. So one, some people just remove the tube, and that's why I have like just a little tissue, because when I remove the tube, I just put the tissue on the end of the tube, and then if any drips out, basically it just decreases the little drops of coffee or whatever. I do use my favorite old dark colored towel. This is my Enema towel. I don't use it for anything else hardly. And so I recommend a dark towel just because of the coffee stains. But anyway, so then when your liquid is in your body, then you can either remove the tube, just make sure everything is closed off, you remove the tube, and you can just lay there and relax. Or some people keep the tube in. And there's a really great reason to keep the tube in. And I know this might gross you out, but believe me, you'll get used to it. If you leave the tube in and you have gas, then the gas can actually pass through the tube into the bucket. It's a big deal because otherwise, if you have gas or gas pains, you really feel like, oh, I gotta go. And then you go and you release the enema like earlier than you would like to. This way, if you leave the tube in, you can actually see a little coffee or water or whatever you have, and you can see little air bubbles or gas bubbles going into the bucket. It's really good. Now sometimes if you have a lot of gas, some of the liquid that's in your body might go in the tube back into the bucket. And you're like, oh my God, is that supposed to happen? Yes, it's totally fine. It's a way to get the gas out and for the enema to be more effective. So it's totally fine. You can take the tube out or you can leave the tube in, and you can actually just kind of lower your bucket or raise your bucket as needed to let the air or gas or whatever go back into the bucket. After you pass the gas, it's in the bucket, then actually the tube is still inside, and the liquid, coffee or water, can go right back in your body. So if you're doing a water enema, it's just for sort of cleaning it out. Sometimes, you can't take all the water because you have a lot of, you have a lot of poop inside. So if you take like half a bucket, that's fine. You feel like you have to go to the bathroom, then take it out, take the tube out, and go to the toilet and evacuate. I really recommend the squatty potties, or even putting a little footstool in front of the commode, because our commodes are horribly shaped and at a weird height to actually evacuate the bowel. So if you raise your feet up, it's much better. But anyway, if you can only take a little bit, you gotta go, that's fine, get up, go. And then go back. You may have to like put a little more coconut oil on the end of the tube or something, and then you can put more in. So basically it's okay, especially when you're starting, just to let a little go in and, okay, am I okay? Check it out, how do I feel? But otherwise, at some point, you're gonna feel the need to go to the bathroom. Now this is the tricky part for me, because I'm healing joints. So it's actually hard for me to get up and down off the floor very quickly. So like my suggestion is, don't wait till it's too late. If you feel, until you learn your body, if you feel you gotta go, just go ahead and get up and go. And then come back, and don't stop there. Just go ahead and finish the enema, or put in more warm water, or whatever you need to do, so that you can actually get a nice cleaning. So basically, water enema first, just clean out the physical stuff, and then do the coffee enema. And if you can do like a third of a bucket, this much, this is great. And ideally, you want to retain the coffee enema for about 15 minutes. So sometimes I take my phone in with me, I'll listen to an emotional song, because I think as we release things from our body, sometimes I need to release things emotionally also. And so sometimes I'll just be inspired to listen to a certain song, and then I'll have some feelings, and who knows, then it just seems to help me release things better, especially historic things. So, but you don't have to do that. You can play your favorite, rock it out kind of song, whatever you want to do. I think it's nice to relax during an enema, have fresh air flowing through the room, and make sure you just have privacy, and that you've created the space for yourself. It's a little harder if like the kids and the husband and everybody are coming in and out, but if you only have one bathroom and that's what you have to do, just use the curtain. And when they see my little toes sticking out the end, they know what's going on. So anyway, so those are some bare necessities on coffee enemas. I'm sure there's tons of videos out there, tons of information. One thing, just get comfortable with your butthole. Please, give me a break. All our openings and closings of our body, they're divinely designed. So if you could just like get a little more friendly with your anus, that would be great. And also just know that you're not going to get addicted to enemas. Your system's not going to stop working because you use some. And the Gershon Institute has tons of wonderful information on the medical benefits of coffee enemas. And there's tons of videos, so you don't have to just listen to this one. But on your 7-day total cleanse, or on your Arise and Shine, or whatever kind of cleanse or detoxing you're doing, I wish you the very, very best. And, let it go. Do it, Elsa. Let it go. Let your shit go. The poop down the chute, whatever you want to say, better out than in. Go for it, and give me a call anytime. I am 7 hours ahead. We're in Israel, but I'm on Facebook, and so it's fine to give me a call. Bye!